Angelica again for Grand Ascent. In today's fitness video, we'll be talking about flexibility and why it's so important to incorporate with your workouts.
Yeah, so Angelica's right. Flexibility is really important because when you're doing some of the workouts that we talked about, especially for women, you don't want to be injured. And the way to prevent injury is to do just a quick flexibility routine before or after you work out. A lot of times I do it after. And so it's going to prevent injury, and it's going to allow you to do a full range of motion in your exercises. So sometimes maybe you haven't exercised for a long time. You're going to want to be able to do, like for example, if you're doing a squat and working your butt, you're going to want to be able to do that exercise properly with a full range of motion. And it also will help your joints with a proper flexibility routine. It's going to help your joints so that your muscles can do a full range of motion and that your joints stay healthy, and again, so you don't get injured. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take Angelica through an entire flexibility routine. And it's going to be quick, but it'll give you an idea of the order that you should go in and basically how to stretch your entire body. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so I'm here with Angelica now, and I'm going to take her through a full body flexibility routine that you can do at home. And what you're probably going to want to do, we're just going to go for about 10 seconds with her in each exercise, in each flexibility exercise. But what you're going to want to do at home is you're probably going to want to do each one for 30 seconds. That's what I recommend. And if you really want to, you can do them up to 3 times each for 30 seconds. So the first one that Angelica is going to do is just she's going to hang her arms down and touch towards her toes. And what you do when you do that, you're hanging your arms, and you can see that her legs are pretty straight, but you don't have to lock your knees. And what you're trying to do is, you're just trying to touch your hands to the floor, or you're hanging your arms down and sort of grabbing your elbows. And really what you're trying to do is touch your nose eventually towards your knees. But again, you just do it lightly. You can also grab the back of your ankles. And you're holding that for about 30 seconds. So that's the first one you want to do. Alright, the next one you want to do is for your hamstrings as well. And we're going to do now one leg at a time. So we have a couch right here. And what Angelica is going to do is she's just going to put one leg on the couch, so it's sort of straight, and her toe you can see is pointed straight up. And what she's going to do is she's just going to lean forward and reach her arms all the way out to her foot. And she's also going to look straight ahead, although she can put her head down. What we're going to do in this case is just look straight ahead. And you can notice again that her leg it's not necessarily locked. You don't have to lock your knee, but you do want your legs straight. So you're going to hold that for about 30 seconds, and then Angelica can come up now, and then you're going to switch legs and do the other leg. And again, you're keeping your toes straight, you're looking straight ahead, and you're also going to hold that one for about 30 seconds and work each hamstring individually. Alright, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to sit on a couch or something like that, in some sort of chair, and basically you're going to want to make it so you can do this next movement. So what Angelica is going to do, she's going to put her arms behind her and put them up on the back of the couch. And what you're doing here, you're stretching your back and your shoulders, you're looking straight ahead, and you're really trying to feel a stretch in this part of your body. And for guys, this one can be very difficult, and for girls, it's a little bit easier. And what you're trying to do is push down in this area so that you actually feel a stretch in your shoulders and your arms. And you're going to hold that for about 30 seconds. Alright, the next thing in our routine for flexibility is for calves. And what we're going to do is sort of find a wall. And Angelica can walk over to this wall right here. And she's going to put both hands on the wall. And she's going to put her legs back just a little bit. Yep. There you go. And lean forward with your leg. Exactly. And your heels for this one are going to be on the ground. So what you're trying to do here is you're trying to really feel a stretch in your calves. And so you want to make it so that your legs are far enough back where you're feeling a stretch in your calf muscles. So, another thing you can do if you have stairs at home is hang your ankles off the edge of a stair and hold on to the stairs so that you feel a stretch in your calves. Or you can use the edge of a couch or whatever you can hang your ankles off of, but make sure you be careful. But at the end of the day, you just want to feel a stretch in your calves, and you want to hold it for about 10 to 30 seconds. Okay, now the next one we want to go right into, and Angelica is actually going to be on the wall again for this one. You're going to stretch your Achilles. So you're going to get in the same position you were for calves. And the difference when you stretch your Achilles is that you're just going to bend your knees down just a bit, and your heels are going to come off the ground. So what you're aiming to do is to stretch this part of your leg right here, your Achilles. And so you want to position yourself and put weight on your feet so that you're actually stretching this part of your leg. And that's your Achilles. And so you want to hold that there, and she's doing a great job. And just make it so that you're putting enough weight on that where you feel a stretch in your Achilles. And again, you can use stairs to help you if you want. Or you can do one leg at a time and put one leg in front and stretch one, just like she's doing, but if she had one leg in front. And then, or you could, exactly, something like that. And you could do the back leg, and then you could switch legs. So whatever you want to do, but just make sure you stretch both your calves and Achilles and get that done and hold it for about 30 seconds each. Okay, while we are by the wall, we're going to do another really cool stretch. So Angelica is going to face the wall and put one arm, her left arm, up on the wall, straight up, as high as she can, and then she's going to take her right arm and grab her left ankle and stretch her quadricep. So behind her, there you go. You're going to take that, and then you're going to, if you can, what you're doing here is you're simultaneously stretching your back right here, and you're also stretching your quadricep, which is the front of your leg right there. So Angelica's stretching both, and she's going to pull her leg back a little bit if she needs to get a stretch. And hold that for 30 seconds. You're stretching your back and your quadriceps at the same time. And then after you get done with that, you're going to switch arms and switch legs. That's really great. Now when you're doing this one, you always want to make sure to keep your knee as straight as possible. There you go. And she's doing a really great job. And you're going to hold that for 30 seconds as well. Alright, next we're going to hit the floor. And so Angelica is going to sit on the floor. And we're going to spread our legs out. And this one, you see that your toes are going to be pointing straight up. Your toes shouldn't be out to the side, but they should be pointing straight up. And your knees don't have to be locked, but your legs should be straight. So some of you might just be able to sit like this and you might feel a stretch. But if you aren't feeling a stretch yet, you can come straight forward. There you go, perfect. And this is another hamstring stretch. And you notice that she has great form here. Her toes are pointing straight up. And she's looking, basically your goal is that your nose hits the ground if you can. I mean, this is a lot tougher for guys, but for girls it's easier. And you want to come all the way forward until you get a stretch and hold that for 30 seconds. Okay, the next thing that we want to do, we're going to stay on the floor, and you're going to want to get against the wall or a couch, and there's a couch right there. And then we're going to put our feet together as we're up against the wall or a couch and bring them in like a butterfly position. And then what you're going to do from this position is you're going to push your elbows on the inside of your knees. And actually what you can do too is take your actual hands, because you're up against the wall, and you're going to push with your hands gently right there on your knees. And make sure you're breathing while you're stretching. And you're going to really stretch your groin there. And you're breathing and you're holding this for 10 seconds, and you can push right down on your knees until you feel a stretch right there. Okay, the next one we're going to do is we're going to stretch our glutes. And so what you're going to do, Angelica's going to put one leg straight out, and then she's going to put the other leg over the leg that's out and sort of up, so the leg is like this. Now what she's going to do is she's going to take her left elbow and cross her body and put it, yep, there you go, and look back, and she's going to push with that elbow on that leg so that she's stretching her right glute muscle down there, right by where her hand is. That's the muscle we're trying to stretch. So she's pushing on that and twisting enough so that she's getting a good stretch with that glute. And what she's doing is she's using this arm or this elbow to push on this knee so that she's getting a good stretch in her glutes. And this is just one way to stretch the glutes, but it's really effective. And so when you do that and you hold it for 30 seconds, now we're going to switch to the other side. And you see that she's very flexible, actually. So her foot is flat on the ground, which is really great. She wants to try to keep that front toe pointed straight up and looking back. And then another thing you can do to make this an even better stretch is she can take that left hand and move it towards the wall there. There you go. You can twist your body so you get a really good stretch in that glute there and hold it for 10 seconds. Alright, we're going to get into our last exercise in this routine. We're going to stretch our hip flexors. You can see Angelica's already in a good position. She's going to move her front leg out just a little bit so that she's stretching her hip flexor, and she's going to shift her hips forward. And yep, exactly, that's perfect. Now you can move that front foot out if you'd like. There you go, so that the front is in a 90-degree angle. That's perfect. So you can see that she's stretching that portion of her hips right there and leaning forward, and her body is straight up so that she's not leaning forward on the top of her body. Her hips are leaning forward, and she's getting a good stretch right there by her hand and her leg. That's the portion that we're stretching, right in your hips there. And you're holding that for 10 seconds. And the front leg is at a 90-degree angle so that her weight is evenly distributed. And you can see the back leg there as well. She's doing a really good job. And so after you hold that for 30 seconds, you're going to switch legs. Perfect. 90-degree angle. You're leaning forward, but you're keeping your upper body straight. Make sure to breathe while you're stretching. And this is the final exercise. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Great job.